when horrible things happen to me, or I feel, or I read some terrible thing going on in the world, yes, those are tragedies going on in the world, my response is, nothing matters. It's all empty and meaningless. This is how the world is. Get used to it. Get on with it, girl.
That sounds like a very Zen Buddhist way of dealing.
I guess it is.
Meaning.
Well, it's a paradoxical way, though.
It is kind of paradoxical.
The first part of that is nihilistic, and the second part isn't. So how do you reconcile those two things? Why get on with it, girl?
Because well, here's another thing. I've often done this with my students. Let's suppose you become nihilistic. Nothing matters. There's no point in doing it. I mean, I think we live in a pointless universe. What are you going to do? And I say to them, like William James in his wonderful thing about getting up in the morning, but that's sort of slightly...
Her voice is so soothing. Like I can listen to her lecture. I can, if she's a teacher, is she a teacher? No, she's probably not a teacher. She's probably not. She probably was a teacher.
I say to them, like William James in his wonderful thing about getting up in the morning, but that's sort of slightly different point that he makes there. But I say to them, okay, tomorrow morning when you wake up, think it's all pointless. There's no point in doing anything. Now, what are you going to do? Well, actually, you're going to need to go to the loo. You're going to get out of bed and you're going to go to the bathroom. And when you're there, you'll think, oh, actually, I'm hungry. I think I want to go down to the kitchen. Oh, I probably should put my slippers on. Why don't I get dressed? You go and have something to eat. And then you think, I'm bored. And you go to university and get into your lectures. And, you know, we are not creatures who will just not do anything. To me, to go through that process, which I've done in the past a lot, and it's just natural now, is a very positive way of living.
She's saying just do anything? Like, what? No. I wouldn't teach anybody that. Now, I understand if it works for her, then it works for her, but I wouldn't teach anybody that. People aren't mature enough to daggone think that they will be laid out all day. What if they got a big old bag of weed? Like, I was about to show y'all, like I might have a little something right here, a little something. Then that's it. That's all what they're going to start doing. You do realize that most people who use marijuana abuse it, like they do, and they act like it's not addictive. But come on now, it might not be addictive, but everything that comes with it is. Believe me on that one. But no, you can't tell people to live meaningless just because it worked for you for the last 20, 30 years, 40 years maybe. I'm not with that.
It is a very positive way of living, to accept the meaningless and ultimate emptiness of everything, and accept that this creature here, this thing, this evolved creature just will get on with life.
But you're not accepting the meaninglessness of it, even by going through those actions that you described.
You don't think so?
Not at all, because you're acting as if those things are meaningful.
Yes, I am. I'm acting as though those things are meaningful.
Are you pretending that they're meaningful?
Pardon?
Are you pretending that they're meaningful?
No, I'm not pretending.
She is pretending that is meaningful. But she's saying that it's meaningless, and whatever happens, happens. Let's just, every day's a party. The body will do what it's supposed to do. You will get out of life what you're supposed to get, and you would do what you, come on now, no. And I know there's a great deal of people around the world who do actually move that way, but come on now. It's a lot of stuff that need to get done. There's a lot of stuff that need to get done. People actually care about legacy. People care about the world being better. People care about making sure they are better than yesterday. You can't do that if you act like, you might be happy for a minute if you don't have any bills, if you don't have any responsibilities, if you can just free ball through life. Who want to free ball through life? Also, guys, if y'all like this kind of content, please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. Also, the notification bell so that you'll be the first to be notified when we put out new content. And follow LFR Family Plus for a lot of our music videos that's coming out.
I'm acting as though those things
are pretending that they're meaningful?
Pardon?
Are you pretending that they're meaningful?
No, I'm not pretending. My way of putting it would be that those meanings are constructed by myself and others.
They're personal
And they're because of the kind of creatures we are, because of the meme
but they're not constructed.
I'd like to hear
Hunger
Jordan's
isn't
response to this.
constructed. Neither is your desire to use the loo. None of that's constructed.
No, but the fact that there is a loo is part of culture.
Yeah, well, thank God for that.
You know,
yeah. But see...
Oh, you thank God, would you, for that? Sorry, that's a poor joke.
Well, you see, so imagine this. You have the proximal meanings that you described that are sort of a priori, right? Yep. They're handed to you. You might consider them as needs or drives, although they're not. They're personalities. That's not the right way of conceptualizing them. But then there's the intermingling of all those needs and drives, let's say, and that constitutes a new layer of structure, because it isn't just that you have to eat and that you have to use the washroom and that you have to have something to drink and that you have to be warm enough or cool enough to survive. It's that you have to do all those things at the same time in a situation where you're going to have to propagate that across time, and you're going to have to do it with a bunch of other people. And it's always been like that. And so what that...
You got to propagate that all across time. I mean, you got to do some planning. That means you got to, if it's not free, if the food is not free, the water is not free, the heat and the air conditioner is not free, then you got to actually put your mind towards something in order to make sure that those things are there when you need them or want them, period. You're going to have to wash clothes if they're just... You're gonna have to wash your bed, your linens on your bed, your towels and washcloths. You're gonna have to put those measures into place, and you can't just say, oh, whatever. I'm just gonna, all this is meaningless, and I'm just gonna get 15, 20 cats and just have them run around and do what they want to do. No, that's nasty. You nasty. That's just nasty. Ain't no way in the world, man. People who live like that don't bring no food to the potluck.
Time. And you're going to have to do it with a bunch of other people. Yep. And it's always been like that. And so what that means is that out of those proximal meanings, higher meanings arise. And you might say, well, those meanings are arbitrary. And I would think those are religious meanings.
I wouldn't say they are arbitrary, but I would say they were constructed. It's very interesting. Reading your book...
What do you mean by constructed?
Well, they are a consequence of mimetic evolution, of the language that people are brought up in, the culture they live in, the arguments they have. I mean,
what about the biology that they're given?
Well, we start with the biology, and the memes build on top of that.
The memes are biology too.
Well, by definition, they are. Well,
see, this is the thing.
I would follow Dawkins.
Well, clearly, in this conversation, it shows that you looked at the potential debate that you were having with Jordan Peterson as meaningless because you didn't prepare for it. And I know and don't feel like I'm disrespecting this young lady. If it comes off that way, then it is what it is. But the fact remains that she seems extremely ill prepared for this conversation, and everything that he asked her about, it seems like she does not have an answer for. And he's not trying to clip her up. It's just she keeps misspeaking. You can't continue to misspeak against someone who takes everything extremely... He looks at everything as meaningful, and he's talking to someone who looks at everything as meaningless. So 9 times out of 10, the person who looks at it as meaningless is going to get their tail beat. If you're watching this should be an example of life right here. So if you're looking to go the meaningless way, you're going to get your tail beat or handed to you by somebody who looks at life as meaningful, looks at themselves as meaningful, because they're going to be prepared and they're going to eat you up, period. And then you're going to go crying to a government to take care of you. The people who live with no meaning, those are the ones that probably have the most issues in life.
Well, by definition, they are, well...
See, this is the thing.
I would follow Dawkins in saying, well, talk about genes as biology, talk about memes as culture. That's all I meant by dividing that. But let me say this.
Yeah, but I don't accept that division.
But I want to get back to what we're saying about meaning. Reading your book made me think a lot about what you mean by meaning, and your claim that we should have a meaningful life or strive for a meaningful life, that meaningfulness is important. And I kept asking myself, do I live that way? What meanings does my life have? And, if I think of something like, well, most of my striving goes into writing my books. And is that meaningful? And again, I have the same response when I ask myself that question. It's just what this body does.
Then you should listen to the body and stop listening to the thing that's criticizing it.
And what would the body say?
He would say, write your book and try to be as clear as you possibly can
that's
about
what I
it.
do. And that's
Right,
exactly
but
what I do.
What I said at the beginning is that the atheist types act out a religious structure and
No,
criticize
there's
it.
no religious structure.
Let
We come to this big
Let me
question
get to
now.
this question.
They act out a religious structure and then criticize it because they still want to play make-believe as if they don't. Okay, let me leave that alone. I want to hear what y'all got to say about this in the comments below. If you have yet to hit that subscribe button, please make sure you do so on your way out the door. Once again, guys, I am Van, and now we are all the LFR family. And I look forward to it. I was trying to figure out what that's called, the big conversation. Okay. The way they have the big conversation. Okay. I look forward to seeing you on the next video, hopefully inside the Patreon as well. Don't forget, follow us on Twitch. That's where we do a lot of our live reactions that will no longer be politics. So I'm doing those before I even go to Twitch. That's what I'm doing. So if you're watching this and you're on my Twitch feed, no, I'm not, because it starts too much stuff. I don't know why. Because I'm the type of person that when conversation starts up and it looks like it's about to be good, I get my popcorn and I will listen. And if I got to interject, then I interject. But I'm hoping that people could, especially adults, can communicate without all the rah-rah. But y'all have been dope, man. Love y'all. Bye.
Perpetrate, cause this 38 will be designated for all those that hate it like just man, I'm contemplating. Your moves, you lose, now your hot you gave me new moves, more dudes, now the top you made me, same rules, new crews.